Was something I sent y'all earlier on Twitter. I don't know if y'all seen that because we just talking about kids. About there was a little girl. She was kind of twerking or whatever, and her dad popped her.
That was terrible.
And you know, people are. He's receiving backlash for it really because he popped her because she was twerking to some music or whatever. How y'all feel about that? Like, in my opinion, that just shows how absent men are in a lot of these children's lives. Because in my household, that ain't gonna fly.
See,
you're not finna be 7 years old backing it up.
I don't want to just cut you off because that man was present in that life. You know what I mean? So by him smacking her, he was able to. It was really just a tap just to let her know like this ain't what you need to be doing.
Yeah.
But the influence of these damn phones is what I can blame that on because he could be a father in that house, but she's on the phone recording, probably looking at a video twerking.
True.
And he's walking through doing his house duties as a man, and now he catches her doing that by accident. You know what I mean? And no telling how long she was doing that because the way he reacted in the right way. And the only backlash should be the backlash on the people that's going against him in the first place. Because as a man raising his daughter, and he does what he does to correct her, he didn't beat her or do nothing. He's just correcting her in life as a man's supposed to do, especially with a little girl. You know what I mean? So anybody else thought he should have did different or mad about what he's doing, he need to be like, fuck them anyway. You know what I mean? Because what they talking about obviously don't matter because what she's doing is out of control.
I didn't really think of it like that though, that like a father could be there and a mother could be there and it's still the phone that's really still raising these kids up to a certain degree. Like they're learning a lot of this shit on the phone and then they're going, you know, in real life and they're emulating it. I just thought that the reaction showed how we're okay with promiscuity at a young age. And we think, you know, a lot of us, I feel like a lot of women think that shit is cute. And it's not cute. It's not cute for your daughter to in my opinion, to have a face full of makeup at 6 years old, 7 years old, be twerking and trying to be like the rappers and or you know and shit like that at a very little age.
Yeah, that's out.
It's not okay because kids don't really understand what they're doing. A little girl might twerk and in her mind it's just dancing.
Exactly.
But to an older person, that ain't just dancing. That's something sexual. That's getting somebody aroused or it's putting you in a certain box. Especially with black women. They're already looked at as more promiscuous just because of the color of their skin. So it's like we have to be very careful about what we praise in our community with our children, especially our daughters. I just don't think that it's okay, and I think that promiscuity is too praised right now, and it's looked at as something that's just fun and whatever the case is. But you know, when you get out in the world and then you do it, you might have a different reaction. And so that's why I say shout out to that father for doing that because that's going to let her know. You know, there's a man here saying, hey, don't do that. Instead of just somebody being like, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. Because you know what I mean? A lot of kids you see like that, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. They be the ones that be destructive already at 16, 17, 18, don't know what to do because they have been raised a certain way with no morals, no home training. And I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it is. And so if you are a pops, you know, and you catch your daughter doing something like that, I don't think there's nothing wrong with popping her and being like, hey, man, not yet, at least. I'm not saying, you know, be a nun, like don't ever do this in your life. I don't ever, you know, but not yet. You too little. You feel what I'm saying?
Nah, he got to break down to her.
What it is.
Why it's
exactly.
wrong. Yeah.
Listen, spare the rod, spoil the child. That was the father exercising the power of no, live and direct. We in this soft, sensitive era where everything offends everybody and soft parenting. Like, bro, that shit don't work. It works to a certain degree. Like I said, the discipline needs to be there physically at times, but like the soft parenting part of it is when you're breaking down why I'm disciplining you.
I whooped your ass.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's where our parents' generation lack. It's like when you got your ass whooped, they just whooped your ass and that was it. Go in the room. It was no breakdown. So something like that where he like, hey, that's out. Like, blah, blah, blah. This is why. Now, I don't even know how. I seen the video.
Yeah.
I can't recall how old she was, if she was old enough to even have it broken down to her for her to even understand at that point. But listen, there's nothing wrong with disciplining a child. You look in the animal kingdom, all animals do it. You feel me? Yeah. It's nothing wrong with disciplining a child. It's just the way you do it and make sure you're not crossing that line between discipline and abuse. Like where you physically causing damage and harm to the child where they really got to go to the hospital or some shit. But nah, man, we in this generation where they're trying to take the rights away from parents. Where they're literally telling parents, you can't even discipline your kid. We decide what happens to your kid. And we're seeing the effects of that slowly. It's like, all right, everybody is against quote unquote whooping their kid. Kids is the most out of control they ever been. And like I said, they got, like you said, they're being raised by these electronics. Like I call them electronic zombies. Like kid 2 years old working the damn iPad better than me already. So we need that discipline factor back in society, and it starts in the home. Like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of these problems and this gender identity confusion is due to the soft parenting error and people afraid to say no and stand on something, to where you got a little girl who wants to, you know, practice 304 lifestyle because she saw it on Instagram and you're not being a parent and explaining why this is bad. Or you might got your son playing, like I'm seeing this a lot. Women got their sons playing with lipstick and
shit
putting
like
on
that,
dresses and weirdo shit.
And
it's
don't
like,
think it contributes to them growing up to be a certain way.
Bro, that's a part of this soft parent. Oh, he just needs to learn. You know, he's curious. You know, let's see if he likes it or if he. No, fuck that. You a boy growing to be a man. That shit is wrong. That's parenting. It's part of you to guide them. Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like they're trying to erase gender roles in society. Now, this is the excuse a lot of these 304 moms are giving. Oh, well, we black. That's our culture back in Africa. Like, you know, we dance, we do, which we do, and kids do those dances. But you got to realize that's a tribal thing. They're not doing it on Instagram for likes to sexualize themselves. This has a meaning behind these dances. So to compare yourself to that, and you're in a Western society, no, that's out. You're not getting away with that. Get the fuck out of here. That's disrespectful to them. Even comparing that, like, we know the difference. So, yeah, we shout out to Pops. Pops that did that. Shout out to you. You doing your job, bro.
And I think, you know, kind of going back to the electronic zombies, it's like everywhere, you know, kids turn when they're outside of the home, it's kind of like whatever's going on outside of home, they're trying to get the kids to go against their parents in a way. Like, you get to school and then maybe your parents whip on you and now they telling you that's not good. Or you got, you know, TikTok and things like that telling you it's okay for you to do this and, you know, this is what's wrong. And I think a lot of parents succumb to it too. And it kind of goes back into being, you know, having the power to say no, because I think a lot of parents want to be tough, but then they get met with that, well, none of the other parents are doing it, so let me just go ahead and fall back. But I don't think it's nothing wrong with being old fashioned, if that's even what we want to call it. I think it's just the right and the wrong way to do things.
Why is these kids having phones at 5, 6, 7 years old?
Make no sense.
That, to me, that don't make no sense. It's nothing they need to be doing on the damn phones. They need a video game, buy them a video game. Other than that, I feel like we saying the kids is lazy, the parents is lazy too, because they giving them these phones and they running off in the room, leave me alone. You know what I mean? And then you getting shit like that's going on because they kids is bored. They not outside. They not doing nothing else. They on these electronic phones and they stuck on that shit 24/7. Down there, I have a tantrum, you take it away. You know what I mean? So it's just like, that shit don't make no sense, but yeah, on to the next topic.
Okay, look, this is my stance, and I'm standing on it. I don't care who don't like it. I don't care about the backlash. This has nothing to do with any hate or anything. It's just the truth. They, whatever you want to call them, trying to erase gender roles in society is slowly destroying society. Neo just caught some flashback of some flack for speaking on something just like this, saying he doesn't believe kids should be able to transition and change their sex, which I 100% agree. I'm standing with Neo on that 100%. Anybody that think otherwise, you's a weirdo. Facts. But yeah, we need gender roles, and they're low-key trying to blur the lines. And now society is getting real tricky where the lines is almost getting blurred to where they're trying to blur the age line. Like, there's no difference between an adult.
Yeah, that's what's next.
Yeah, that's what's next. Yeah, first we get rid of the gender. Now it's cool for a man to go marry a 12-year-old. Like, they're trying to sneak that pedophilia shit in. Like, bro, it's getting tricky. How y'all feel about that?
I absolutely agree. And I even like how Neo, you know, because a lot of people be giving out these fake ass apologies, but I like how Neo came out and said, look, man, if I get canceled, you know, I'll go back to working if I got to. I got kids. I'm going to stand on this. I'm going to stand 10 toes on, you know, the take of, I don't think that kids should be able to transition at a young age. And I think that's 100% true. I think the reason why they're trying to blur the gender roles is because they, you know, obviously a man that is powerful you know, and has control of his family, number one, is going to build good children that, you know, have a good head on their shoulders. They have direction. So when you blur the gender roles, if you don't know if you're a man, if you don't know you're a woman, then it's almost like you're blurring what routes you need to take, how you need to go somewhere. Because if you are not even within yourself, you know, knowledgeable of who you are, how can you go and be knowledgeable of what you even want to do in this life? And believe it or not, oh, well, they're just kids. It starts at that age. It starts at that fucking age. And so we do have to understand that. And it's attack. And I really look at it as an attack on men, because the more men you take out of society, the weaker society gets. And that's what you're seeing today. You know, a whole bunch of softer men that are not able to lead. And in turn, this is what you're getting. This is what you're seeing out there in these streets and on TikTok and Instagram. A lot of it is the result of softer men and a softer generation. And they're trying to do that because they want the control or to keep control. So you got some of us that's waking up. You know, we like, fuck that. We men, we rocking this way and only this way. And then you got others that, like I said, are more, well, we don't know. The lines are blurred. But I don't understand. And it could also be because of the feminist agenda, wanting to blur the lines and making it an equal thing. But at the end of the day, I don't think anybody benefits from it, especially not men. And we need men. And so blurring the gender roles, that's to me what it's doing. It's just taking us out of it. And we're at a point in time where we need men more now than ever. And so if you are raising young boys, you know, I don't think it's anything wrong with raising them to be men. Why go and confuse a kid and be like, well, you could be a boy, but you could be a girl too? Why? Like, you know what I mean? I would just put my son, as a parent, I'm going to take my child and I'm going to put them in the direction I want them to go. Point blank, period. And now whatever, you know, transpires after that is somewhat out of your control. But if you're already giving up to the government and to society when your child is 6, 7 years old, you're not really warranted to parent anyway. Because then how are you a parent?
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying?
See, all of this is designed to remove you from being self-conscious, like reaching your highest level of inner consciousness. The more you don't know who you are, like you said, the more you don't know where you're going, the more you spend life confused, asking yourself, oh, am I a boy, am I a girl? Or, you know, does a man have to do this? Or you just confused, and it's taking you away from your true purpose. Like I was seeing on YouTube and TikTok, like they'll have people go out to like indigenous tribes or out to where they're detached from society and electronics and all these agendas and ask them, hey, can a boy be a girl? Can a girl? They like, what the fuck are you talking about?
We
like,
talking about it.
Or they like, do you have trans in your village? They don't even know what that is. But they're so in tune with the world around them. It's crazy. Like like a couple dudes, like they went to live with one of these tribes for a couple weeks and they had no phone, no nothing, no outside influence. He was like, for the first couple of days, I was like, like I was going crazy. Like I just kept picking up my phone even though I couldn't use it. But he said after that first week, it was like all my depression, all my problems, everything went away. I got so in tune with nature and so in tune with myself. He's like, that was the one moment in my life where I truly understood who I was. Like there was no self-doubt, nothing. Just being around these people and seeing they are at complete peace and happiness with what we consider nothing. To them, it's everything. He was like, you need to come to America with me. They're like, why? Ain't that the place where people kill themselves and kill their families and kids? Like, why the hell we want to go there? Like, that was mind-blowing to me. And that just shows you the deeper we get connected with this, the more we get disconnected with each other. We damn near like